We're back. I know you guys been waiting for me. But I still haven't showered in 4 days. No, I haven't showered in 4 days. Bet. Who's gonna take me to Baskin Robbins tonight? Let's see who's here. Hello. Soon. You said soon. Listen to Cream. Whoa, there's too many comments to go back. So I saw Ashley, I saw Cree, I saw Alsane, Louis, DC became a new member, Sammy became a new member. Thank you, Tammy, for the super chat. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Kayla, Peanut, Crystal. Hello, Shelby, Jennifer, Amy, Carly, Mandy's Tacos. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. If I missed you, so sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Welcome back. We are back to continue with Mackenzie Sharilla text messages. You heard it here first. Don't even play. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. I will keep every single one of your guys' cars. Oh my God, just kidding. I wanted you to see my fit. Can we have movie night? Is it movie night? I was hoping we can get Charlie's and have movie night. Hi. Yes, we will be live. If you guys missed earlier's live, we talked about the unknown number, the high school catfish documentary. Please make sure you go and check that out. Give it a like button. Support your girl over there to Scoop. Yeah, Scoop. I wanted to, I want to do a double day for Mackenzie. So I'll pick one this weekend so we can do that. But okay, continuing on the text messages. I wish I could remember. I know we left off on my third line. Been watching every day. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Okay, is my mic and my camera good before I get started? I don't want to go reading these text messages and then not. If one of them is faulty on your end, restart. Not restart, refresh. Let's go. Are we good? You guys can see me? I don't want no problems. Do you hear me? I don't want no drama. I watched that this morning. Yes, please go watch my the live I did on the documentary. Please support it. Give it a like. You guys can see me and hear me okay? Yes, it's fine now. Okay. Yes, says Olivia. Abuelita, refresh your screen. I had to exit and come back in. Okay. So, wait. Oh, so my mic is cutting in and out? If it's cutting in and out, refresh. Refresh your, whatever you're using. Because I think it should be good now. It's better now. Okay. Yeah, I don't like people who are copying me. I don't like people who are copying my swag. Cut it out. Cut that shit out. I don't care that people have them. I started reading them here first. Don't play with me. Okay, wait. Audio was bad. Relaunched app and it's good now. Mic is fine for me. You sound good here. Okay. So just refresh. I want to make sure they don't do it as good as you. Woo. No, I'm serious. Don't play games with me. If you guys don't know me, I used to mod on every channel. I used to mod for Vinny Paultan. So I have been around the streets for a minute. Don't play. Don't get me started. It's about Mackenzie tonight. There's only one Melly. Mandy's like, shut the F up. Get started. Audio's fine. Okay, we good? Yeah, here's the thing. There's room for everyone. But to copy someone to the exact style is crazy. I have a hair on my lip. What? You have hairy, what? If it's glitching, go out. Okay, did everyone refresh? Are we good? Can we get started? I don't want to do over. Do you see what I'm saying? The one and only, don't get me started. Do not get me started. The Tony woman. Chef's kiss. Okay. We left off on May 20th, 2020. She was saying goodnight. So we refresh. Let's think. Short-term memory. What were they doing? She was helping him buy shoes. She says, "Good night, baby." This is May 20th, 2020. And I'm starting from the beginning, as I've always said in every single live. We are almost to part 10. Do not lie. Do not play to me. Do not play with me. We are going to be getting through all of these. If you are cheating on me, I'm going to be pissed. We're going to have problems. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? I will only listen to you read these. Can we FaceTime before bed tonight? Can we FaceTime? Are we FaceTiming? Are we FaceTiming every minute of the night? We're going to fall asleep to each other on FaceTime. Okay, let me continue. So May 20th, 2020, 12:32 a.m. She says, "Good night, baby." He says, "Good night, babe." And this is where we left off. He says, "What size shoe do you wear?" On 5:20 at 11:26 a.m. And she says, "Kids, 5.5. Kids, 5.5 women's." She says, "Good morning. What are you doing?" "I think I wear women's 7 or 6.5. He says, "That's like 3 different sizes." "I'm sorry, babe. I don't want to fight with you," he says. There's the going back and forth. Yeah, don't. Oh my God. I love you guys. For those of you who know, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Wait, this going back and forth, like, it's not stable, babies. This is not stable. I need something stable. Like, he is like, "I hate you 1 minute. Get the hell out of my house." And then he's like, "Wait, I don't want to fight with you." Okay, so he's like, "I'm sorry, babe. I don't want to fight with you." She says, "I don't want to fight with you either, baby. It makes me so upset. I'm sorry too." She loves it. Then she says, "I wear a kid's 5.5 or a woman's 7. Babe, do you want to hang out soon?" And he says, "I'm about to do some shit, then be with Kyle and Ashish. But yeah, probably after." And she says, "Okay, bet. What time are you going to be ready to hang?" Estimate, LOL. Dom? And he says, "I don't know." And she says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "About to stop at Kyle's." She says, "How long are you going to be there?" "Don't ignore me, by the way." And he says, "I wasn't." And "I don't know, not long." She says, "Bet. Then after that, we can chill?" Question mark. He says, "After I'm done doing my stuff." And she says, "Okay, that's fine. You busy today?" And he says, "Yeah, I've been doing some big stuff." And she says, "Oh, okay, hit me up when you're done. Try to get done early." And he's like, "Okay." She's like, "Okay, yay." What is she saying yay to again? No one wants to hang out with you. Okay, so she's like, "Okay, yay. I got it out. I'm in hella pain." And he says, "That's effed up." Wait, got what out? I'm confused. She says, "I got it out. I'm in hella pain." And he says, "That's effed up." She says, "Yeah, it was half in my foot. It took like 30 minutes to get out. Are you going to be done soon?" And so she had something in her foot. He says, "Yeah, I'm trying. And check if it's open and when till." And she says, "It's an Elvira, right?" He says, "Yeah." She says, "Closes at 9:30. He says, "Bet." She says, "Right? I don't know why you turned the lights off." And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I did that on instinct. I'm sorry, babe." She says, "LOL, it's fine. Your mom got mad." Oh, wait. So that's the next day. So then she says, "LOL, it's fine." That's on 5:20 at 10:18 p.m. And then on 5:21, the next day at noon, she says, "Your mom got mad." She says, "Just come home." And she sends a video of something. And then she says, "Your name isn't on here." He says, "Bet." She says, "I'm about to clean it out." Then she says, did you know Black people died 3 times more than anyone else from corona? Can someone tell her why she can't spell right? She's spelling corona as Carona. It's COR, in case anybody was wondering. Oh Lord. Yeah, I know this isn't the spelling bee, but like that bugs me. And then Dom says, that's effed. And what does she mean? Like, why is she talking like this? And Dom says, that's effed. And then Mackenzie says, the next day. Wait, next day? Oh no, the same day at 11:30 on 5/21. She says, good morning, babe. LMAO, you stayed up late. Why the F am I blocked on Insta? Like, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm trying not to freak out, by the way. She emphasizes it. Imagine like you wake up and you're like, someone's like, good morning, beautiful. And you're like, good morning. And then they're like, what are you doing? Why are you not doing what I said? Hello? Don't even breathe. I didn't give you permission. Why aren't you doing what I said? Like, can you imagine? Oh my God, that like, I can't. Like, she doesn't have time to spell correctly. She says, she emphasizes it. And he says, I'm sleeping. And she says, okay, but why am I blocked on Instagram? And he says, I forgot. That was the day I was super mad, he said. And she says, oh, I thought you just did it. I was like, WTF did I even do? Unblock though? Question mark. Hang out before the cookout? Question mark. He says, maybe. I just got to be sure I'm ready though. And it's at 5. She says, what you got to do? He says, shower, go meet up with Barchla and maybe a DOP. What is that? And she says, okay, what about after you meet up with Barchla, we can hang until 5. And he says, I would have told you if I could have met up after. I would have told you if I could after I met up with Barchla. And she says, okay. And he says, so if you ask to hang out with me and I say no because I have something to do at 5, if you ask to hang before 5, it's still a no because I already said no. That's what Dom said. He says, do you get what I'm saying? He's like, do you get it? Do you entiende inglés? He sure does know how to push her buttons. She's like a mini Jody Arias. Yeah. So she says, yeah, just be chill, babe. It's okay if you don't have time to chill. What are you doing though? And unblock me on Instagram. I don't know why you have to ignore me, babe. She emphasizes it. You didn't unblock me either. Dom, what the hell? Don't ignore me. You told me you would call me back when you FaceTimed me earlier. You just ignored me. Then you just ignored me. And he says, I don't got good connection out here. She said, just don't ignore me. We don't have to text every 5 minutes. I just don't want to be left undelivered for 3+ hours. But she does text every 5 minutes. And then she says, try to hang out when you get home. And how's it going? He says, pretty fun. We are just kicking it. And she says, that's good. Where was our food? She says, are you coming back soon? He says, yeah, burger and chicken B is whipping. And she says, I'm so bored, bruh. Like, I can't even play my game without getting anxiety now because I lost all my stuff. Can we hang out when you're home? It's about to be dark. You're answering really slow. And he says, I'm trying to just chill. I'll let you know when I come home. It's a far drive, too. She says, how is it still going on? It's been like 6 hours, and it's stressing me out how slow you're replying. And I'm still not unblocked. And she removes the question mark. She emphasizes the text. She says, this honestly making me annoyed. She removes the question mark again. And then she says, she removes another question mark. Shake my head. I don't text you all day. I let you ignore me from 4 to 8, and I still can't get a fast text back. Like, it's pitch black outside. How the F is the cookout still going? I swear everyone's trying to make me flip the F out today. He says, we're just smoking now. She says, smoking where? He says, Jared's. She says, bruh, when are you coming back? You've been there for like 7 hours and I'm blocked on Insta and getting slow replies. Like I'm getting so annoyed. She emphasizes it. And then he says, no, I haven't. And she says, since like 4 and you've been ignoring me. And he says, no, I haven't. When I check my phone, I text you. She says, it's just really annoying when I'm trying to talk to you for a little and you have to wait. I'll have to wait 30 minutes plus for you to reply. Are you coming home soon or can we just hang tomorrow? And he says, probably tomorrow or something. She says, I didn't have a good day today. My baby Pinky isn't doing good. What? And he says, what happened? She says, he just got super skinny all of a sudden and it's sad because that was my first pig. He says, oh, you said Pinky. You mean Piggy? And she says, Pinky is his name. My guinea pig. The gray one. She says, slow reply, LOL, are you home? And he says, on the way. I missed that part about the guinea pigs. Did we know she had guinea pigs? Can someone please call animal services to get the guinea pigs away from her? Wait, just kidding. She's in jail now. Well, I hope someone called animal services at the time. Oh my God, I'm so ridiculous. What are you? How am I going to get to the... Yeah, she just begs to hang out. She's like, are you awake? Are you awake? Are you awake? Are you awake? You there? Hello? So she says, I'm so uncomfortable right now. Like, I hate it so much. He says, what is uncomfortable? She says, are you for real? And he says, what do I do? Wait, he said, what? Do I sound dumb? She said, Dom, you just asked me what is uncomfortable. Did you drink or something? And he's like, yeah, not a lot though. She's like, oh, I for real can't sleep. Well, I didn't sleep last night. And he says, are you up? And she says, now I am. I got like 3 hours of sleep. And he says, how? She says, I don't even know, Dom. I couldn't sleep for shit. I even took a small dab. Do you want to hang out soon? She questions it. And he says, I gotta do shit first. But yeah, we could. And she says, okay, yay. Do you think you will be busy? Like, will it take a long time? And he's like, I don't know. Right now, I'm not that busy. She says, okay, bet. I'm not trying to sit in my room all day. I don't even have my game to play. Think about bringing me on your runs, though. And he says, if you want, I'll let you come to my house at some point, even though I'm not there right now. She says, okay, bet. You gonna be done soon? She's so excited to just go hang out and wait for him. Yay, Mackenzie. Yay for her. Okay, so then she says, you're gonna be done soon? I don't know why you're ignoring me. And he says, sorry, I actually been packed and I was on the phone with big homie. It sucks. Of course, it's the day after I've been drinking and shit. And she says, yeah, for real. Can I come with you? I'm trying to hang out before 6. And he says, I don't know, babe, because we're just going to have nothing to do. It's all rainy. And she says, I know it's rainy, but I'm going to be tired early tonight. And I sat home all day yesterday. I want to be out today. Please just bring me, babe. And he says, I have to go to people. I don't know right now, though. Give me more time. She says, okay, let me know. I really need to get out of the house, though. And Dom says, I literally sat my phone down for 5 minutes and have 14 Snapchat notifications. Why today? Actually, it's a good day because it's raining, but I do want to hang with you. And she says she loves it. And she says, I sat home all day yesterday. It was really lonely. I want to see my babe. And he says, you will, babe. She says, okay, try to hang with me soon, please. I'm bored. He says, I'm stupid busy. She says, yeah, for real. I want to let you do your stuff because that's a lot of money. If you can bring me, I'll help you if it's cool. If not, that's fine too. And he says, nothing to help with. She says, oh, are you just not trying to bring me with? Like, I'm so bored, it's stressing me out. He says, go eat food. And then she says, are you joking? He says, to be honest, no, I do that when I'm bored. She says, I'm not just going to go force myself to eat when I'm bored and have hella anxiety. That's not how it works. Try to be done soon. Don't ignore me. And he says, I'm not. I don't like when you push me. And she says, I'm just trying to chill, not push you. Also, Destiny asked me if you can drop her a cart yesterday. And he said, she should just hit me up. She says, I'll tell her to. Text her. Do you think you're going to be done soon? Sad face. Did you mean to leave me on red? And he says, no. I'm still busy and I haven't ate and my stomach hurts and I'm not in the mood. Everyone at the house is freaking out. So let me get my bearings. And she says, okay, that's cool. Hit me up when everything cool. I just went shopping and I'm binging Bad Girls Club. And he says, LOL. Phone about to die. And she says, charge it, babe. He says, and I'm stuck on the toilet. She says, LMAO, no, that's the worst. Just make sure you're on low power mode and you only go on Insta. She says, Dom says, it's shut off, but now I'm back. And she says, LMAO, you still got more runs? Do you think you will let me come chill soon? He says, I still got to do some shit. She says, can I come with you? It'll be fun. He says, no, babe. And she says, please, babe. I sat home all day. I want to go do something so bad. She loves it. He says, no. And she sends a blank message. And he says, sorry, I have a lot going on. I need to do my stuff. And my mom is crying because Angela almost died. What? Angela almost died? She acts like a senior citizen wanting to hang out. If someone hit me up and was like, Melly, are we hanging out before 4? I would be like, block. This girl's creating emotional stress. Who? Me or Mackenzie? Don't be hating on me. Hey, Mallory. Remember, she said they got 5 pigs. Who has 5 pigs? I didn't know someone had 5 pigs. What's the difference between sitting in her room and his empty house? They're both creepy, Shelby. You're right. Almost died? Yeah. He says, Angela almost died. And she says, what? How the F did Angela almost die? Why don't you tell me this stuff? And he says he crashed 120 on the highway drunk. Excuse me? A 120 on the highway? That's faster than Mackenzie was going. I'm shook. Okay, so he says he crashed 120 on the highway drunk. And she says, what? And he says, everyone been tweaking hella. And she says, holy shit, is he in the hospital? Like, this is effed. Do what you gotta do, Dom. I'm here if you need me. He says, no, he's almost fine, but he took like 10 Xanax when he got home. I'm confused. Wait, 10 Xanax for a crash? What about like the painkillers? Like 10 Xanax? None of these kids deserve a license. No, you're right. Okay, so he says when he got home, like 9 actually, but like what the F, said Dom. And Mackenzie says, WTF, Angela wildin' lately. When you done, can you scoop? And Dom says, something else happened. I can't talk on the phone. I'll tell you later, said Dom. And Mackenzie says, oh God, okay, let me know when I can come. We can just chill and I'll rub your back. Babe, it's getting late, babe. And he says, something serious really happened. I don't know when I'll be able to chill. And Mackenzie says, what happened, Dom? I'm worried. Call me. She loves it. I hope everything's chill. I'm really worried. He says, I'm all right. Everything's getting controlled. Mackenzie says, tell me what happened, babe. I'm worried. And Dom says, I will later. We all good though. And she says, okay, I have really bad anxiety. Later, do you want to come scoop me and we can go to Folt's and we can chill and talk? Babe, what's going on right now? Call me back. That convo low-key made me really sad. Sad face. He says, I get frustrated. She says, I wasn't trying to frustrate you. I miss you. Just wanted to catch up and talk for a little. The whole time I felt like You just wanted to get off the phone. He says, not in the beginning, but yeah, after a while, well, chill, babe. I'm sorry. I need to give you more time, but I really don't have any to myself. So like, it's my busy time when I'm with you more than I'm free. That takes up all my time. She says, I understand, baby. Just have fun with Bernie tonight. You deserve it. But please, hang with me early tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't see you front of the day. He says, I'm probably going to hang with Bernie. She says, oh, why? He says, I just burned hella plastic. I feel guilty. And she says, why and where? He says, in my yard, had more stuff. And she sends a picture of something. Wait, I don't get it. What does he mean by burning plastic? Like literal plastic? Like plastic water bottles? Is that key for something? And you know, Dom, you have a lot of time to be smoking and hanging out with your friends and selling rugs. Hey, I'm just saying, don't get mad at me because I'm saying the truth, you guys. Like, yeah, she's nuts. She's nuts. But, I mean, he's also playing games. He doesn't want her around. Wait, the chat moves so fast. Sorry. I don't know. He doesn't want her around. She's begging her own boyfriend to hang with her. Spending on credit cards? Huh. And then she says, okay, so that was on 5:23, 3:49 a.m. in the morning. And then she says, text when you're up at 10:13 a.m. She says, babe, let me come over when you're up. My outfit is so cute. He says, yeah, but you got to give me something. She says, what I got to give you? He says, come over. She says, give me 5 minutes. Curly or braid? And he says, braid. She says, bet, I'm going to come now, on my way. He says, don't effing lock my car. She says, what? And he says, don't lock my car. She says, okay. The dog was somehow in your house. I got him out. And then he says, LOL. She says, LMAO, what are you doing? Are you on the way back? He says, I need your Addie. What phone number and email to? He says, yo. And she says, what? Oh, and she gives her number. And then she gives her address. And she says, I was shaving. Sorry, babe. Question mark. And he says, my phone died. She says, okay, did you get the stuff? I'm sorry, shaving? What? Dude, we don't care about you shaving. I'm sorry, I had to go back to it. I couldn't ignore it. Okay. She says, and are you going to be done soon? He says, no, about to do UT. She says, okay, bet, scoop when you're done. Remember, don't overdraft. He says, I know. She loves it. And then he says, email. She sends her email. And then he sends her number. And then she says, first. He says, for show. You know, Dom, you can go back into like contacts, phone book, and look up the damn number. Okay? Okay. Chris says, wait. If you look at burning plastic as it's related to rugs, it's meth or Krizak rock. What? I'm shook. Is that for real? That's crazy. Okay, so wow. So he says for show, and she says scoop when done. She says I need a different email for it. She says and sends her email again. She says that's 1000% it. Did I spell it wrong? Or did you spell it wrong? And then he says invalid billing email. It said. She sends her email again. She says copy and try again. He says caps or no caps. I'm doing it off computer. And she says no caps. And she sends a screenshot of something. And then she says, see? He says, I used no caps. And it said wrong. She says, try this. She says, I'm confused. It worked. I see. LOL. What email was it? Dom, can you come now? You've been there for so long. And he says, I'm about to have the order done. She can get off at 10 anyways. She says, okay, come scoop as soon as you're done. Are you about to be done? And she says, babe, And he says, 20 more minutes. Sorry, babe. She says, bruh, what the hell? Dom, you told me you would only be there for a little. Like, can you just scoop me and we could buy the rest on my phone or something? Like, we're supposed to hang out at 10. I've been waiting. Bruh, she emphasizes it. You're not even buying anything either. He says, I did, about to leave in 5. Chill. And she says, fine. He says, I've been ready. Mackenzie says, I've been ready, so tell me when you're leaving. Are you on the way? She says, beach day. And he says, morning. She says, morning, babe, the next day. And he says, yeah, on 5/24. He says, yeah, we could probably go. She says, I'm tanning right now. It's so hot. I woke up excited AF. And he says, I woke up mad AF. And she says, really? Sad face. That sucks. That happened to me yesterday. Text me soon. He says, Topher is chiefing cigs in the living room again. She says, OMG. Dom says, I'm waiting till they leave the room. I'm going to go sit down and smoke my wood from last night. She says, LMAO, I was way too tired to hit that wood. I barely remember it. Do you got a lot to do today? When are you trying to go to the beach? He says, well, Kyle didn't hit me up for an hour. That didn't help. But yeah, I got to run a couple places. Then I'm free. She says, okay, bet. FaceTime? She says, 4 seconds. It will be worth it. He says, I'm reading something. She says, you going to be ready for the beach soon, babe? Question mark, question mark. Did they answer though? Babe? Rocky River? We got to drive down Lake Road. There's hella beaches. We should go on a jet ski. And he finally says, I'll talk to you on the phone in a sec. She says, okay, bet. You going to be done soon? I'm cold now. And he says, of course you are. You can go back if you want. And she questions it. Dom says, I don't know how much longer. My stomach hurt. She says, are you okay? Oh, wait, was this the next day? Sorry. Let me go back. Oh, no, it's still the same day. She says, okay, bet. Are you going to be done soon? I'm cold now. He says, of course you are. You can go back if you want. She questions it. He says, my stomach hurts. She says, are you okay? I'm going to wait for you. Of course, LOL. Nikki was looking for you. He says, I'm still using Lana's computer, though. What did she say? Dom says, okay, and she wanted bud again. She wants you to get it. She just came back again. Dom says, oh. Mackenzie says, LOL. Dom says, go grab some bud and grab me a jacket. Mackenzie says, how much do I get her and what bag? He says, open the silver bag and just grab some nugs. She said, okay, I'm going right now. He says, okay, grab a jacket for yourself. She said, where's the bags? Never mind. He says, I haven't. Oh, so that was on 5/24 at 11:06 p.m. So Mackenzie's doing his rug dealing too. Then the next morning at 8:18, he says, I haven't been able to go back to sleep. Mackenzie says, really? Sad face. Did you sleep at Nikki's? She says, it's open right now. He says, come over. No, I was in my bed. She says, okay, I will. I'm rebraiding hair right now. And she says, no, I mean when we were there. He says, come over soon. We got to get food and stuff ready because the trip is long. She says, okay, I'm coming ASAP. I'm about to be done with my hair in like 2 minutes. And she says, get my green swimsuit, babe. He says, what? She says, it's somewhere in your room, maybe. He says, should I shower before we go? Mackenzie said no. And he said, okay. She says, you're just going to get more dirty on the way. Are you showering, babe? He says, no, I'm shitting, but I actually didn't think any of these places are open. So you might just have to go home. She says, what? He says, yeah, I keep calling. They don't answer. She says, it says they're open, though. And he says, just try calling them. She says, okay. And then he sends a screenshot and he says, it's this one, too. Mackenzie says, did it just go to voicemail for you? A robot said, go to the website for prices and hours. Dom says, you on the wrong one. Go to the other one. I'm not driving hour and 15 minutes to go home. Mackenzie says, I'm calling the other one right now. But the first one I called, a robot answered. Dom says, it just keeps ringing. She says, no. The second one just answered. That one isn't open till June 1st, I think. It was a guy and he sounded mad. They both open June 1st. Sad face. The beach, I'm assuming. She says, I looked on the website. He says, so they not open at all? She said, I talked to the Laudenville one on the phone, and on the website it says closed until June. Dom says, what did they say? She says, he said, we're not open till June 1st. He sounded mad too, LMAO. Dom says, why is he here then? And she says, right? That's confusing. There's another one called Burning Rivers. I've never been there though before. She sends an address. She sends pictures. She says, I found 2 open places. And he says, which one? She says, paddle the river. She sends 2 links. And then he says, Burning River's booked. She said, I just called them. Dom says, they said there is one open in Warren is what they told you too. She says, I think so. Call them. He says, the one I just called is only a 3-minute ride. She said, did it work? He says, they opened, but it's only a 3-mile ride. She sends 2 screenshots. Then he says, are you dipping? Wait, is that the same day? So that was on 5/25 at 12:04 p.m. And then the next day at 1:28 in the morning, well, it's the next morning, yeah. He says, are you dipping? Mackenzie says, yeah, I told you I have to. That's why I gave you hella kissies. Oh, the kissies. 3 kissies for you guys in the chat. Sorry, I haven't been reading you guys. I think he was really seriously breaking up with her and she would rather be done than face the reality. She expected to die with him. She wanted to. I believe that. Interesting. He says, oh, don't remember. I just got up. She says, you were sleeping. I didn't even know. And he says, LOL. You were too. She says, LMAO, I thought you were up. I gave you 50 hugs plus kissy before I left. My mom just told me a cool spot for sunset watching in Lakewood. It's about to be 90 today. WTF. And he says, wow. And she says, 90, right? I'm about to go to the high school to get shit out my locker. I think I just seen Carl by Wendy's. Shoveling mulch. If you want to hang today, let me know. It's cool if you want to get shit done too. And then he doesn't respond. And she says, cliff jumping soon? Maybe, LOL. She says, it's hot enough to swim. He says, no, the water will still be cold. She says, you think? On my way to the dentist. She says, I think John Shuba shaded AJ. Was that a typo? And he said, what? And she said, I think he was talking shit. Dom said, probably that kid is a PUSSY. Mackenzie says, LMAO. Dom says, bought a hoop with Thomas. Mackenzie says, sounds fun. I have to stop smoking June 3rd for my dentist. If I don't, I could go into a coma or some shit. He says, really? Why and how? She says, I gotta be put to sleep to get my 10 cavities fixed. Oh my God, just 10 cavities. 10 cavities. She needs to stop eating all that Baskin Robbins. Hey, Joy, good to see you. She says, I'm about to get my 10 cavities fixed. She says, effing 10. And weed affects how the gas works, so I just gotta stop. And she sends a TikTok. She says, I'm really bored. Are you still balling? She says, Dom. He says, sorry, yeah, I'm done. I'm still chilling with them, though. She says, if you want to hang when you're done, let me know. No one free, everyone's doing stuff, she said. And she sends this picture of something. And then she says, what do I want me to do? He says, nothing. She says, did you read that? She says, yeah. Dom says, yeah, ask for a refund. Mackenzie says, how? She says, Dom says, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Mackenzie says, okay, just let me know. She says, I almost got stung by a bee. Sorry, I was like choking. I need 3 kissies. Oh my God, you know what? Oh, the 10 cavities. That's a lot. He says, wait, don't do anything. I'll talk to you about it. She says, I won't, babe. Are you going to be with them all day? It's cool if you are. Why did you leave me on red? She says, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know if your phone died or you just blocked me, but this is stressing me the F out. Couldn't cavities be from the rugs? I'm like choking. Yeah. She says, I don't know if your phone died or you blocked me. This is stressing me the F out. She says, you just left me on red like 35 minutes ago and you still haven't answered. I do not like this at all. How come my calls are going through but my texts are green? She emphasizes it and she says, Dom, I'm about to be mad AF. She says, a effing hour? WTF. And she says, you can't just be super nice to me for a while, then start doing this shit again. WTF. This shit is effing annoying. I know your phone is on. Calls are going through. Dom says, I was chilling and went to text you back. Then it died. Then we started bawling again. My bad. He says, it was really intense. I'm dead. She said, it's really irritating when you do that. Like, I thought you blocked me. I don't like when you do that to me. Also, are you going to be home soon? Or don't answer, LOL. He says, I didn't mean to. She says, then call back, LMAO. He says, I don't know when I'm home. I'm ballin'. I don't know when I'll be home. I'm just ballin'. She says, okay, that's have fun ballin'. You probably 10 AF. When you're done, can you scoop me? He says, maybe. She says, okay, don't ignore me. He says, thank you. Jones come over. He's wearing an Astro World shirt. She says, LOL. Of course he is. His home screen, probably that too. Dom says, to be honest, I think it is. I'll try to look. She says, good night, baby. He says, good night, babe. She says, text me tomorrow morning. Let's do something. He says, okay, I gotta sleep. I gotta go do something in the morning. Then I'll hit you up. She says, okay, bet. He says, I have some stuff to do. Shouldn't be that much. She said, just try to be done fast, babe. He says, okay. He said, vape stuff going good. She says, what do you mean? Did you get the license or something? He said, in process. She said, oh, did Thomas trade shoes with you? Want to just FaceTime till I'm tired again? And then he never responded. And then she says, good morning, babe, at 11:27. She says, get your stuff done fast today. Or bring me. I want to be outside. She says, babe. She says, Charlie's is open. He says, at the mall? She says, yes. I'm there with my mom right now. He said, that's dope. She says, yeah, now we don't have to drive far AF, LMAO. Try to be done soon. Let's go to an abandoned place. He says, where? It might be too hot for an abandoned place. The building gets so hot. She says, oh, for real? I didn't even think of that. He says, because it gets so humid and dusty, hard to breathe. She says, yeah, you're probably right, LMAO. Want to just go to like the waterfall or something and play basketball? She says, I don't care. I just want to be outside with you. He says, I was thinking we do abandoned place another day. It's supposed to be cool. It's supposed to be cool down again. She says, also, can you FaceTime for a little? I want to show you stuff. And she says, okay. He says, sorry, I didn't see these texts. You want to FaceTime now? And she says, Maddie wants to know if you're going to go cliff jumping today. I told her it's not warm enough, but I'll tan and maybe jump one time. She says, it's hot AF. Do not ignore. And he says, I'm not. I'm doing paperwork. She said, do you want to go to the beach, me and Maddie, and you can bring Carl and whoever, or we can just hang, me and you? He says, I don't know, maybe. I still got shit to do. She says, hit me up when you're done. When do you think you're going to be done? It might start getting cold soon. He says, I still got some shit to do soon, though. She says, how much? Like over an hour? He says, it won't be that long. I'll let you know. Yeah, probably a little. Mackenzie says, that's a while. Can you try to just get done fast so we can swim? And he says, yeah. She says, okay, bet. Try to be done at like 6:30 or 7. Honestly, it's getting colder. He says, where are we going to swim? She says, somewhere where the water isn't -30. He says, I don't know. We probably can't swim in a lake. She says, it can just be a spot. I don't care. We can bring my canoes to Wallace Lake and have a paddleboard. Or we could just go cliff jumping spot. And if you just roll a wood, Maddie will remember where the spot is. She says, LOL. I don't know why you just stopped talking, but that's cool. Hit me up when you're home. Me and Maddie about to drive somewhere. And then he didn't respond. And she says, I just seen Kyle and Kristen. Or just ignore me, for real. She emphasizes it. And he says, sorry, I was doing shit. She says, do you want to go to Edgewater with me, Maddie, and Alexa? They can drive. We're going to go later, but me and Maddie can come chill with you right now. He says, what time are y'all going? She says, tonight sometime. I seen you hooping. Oh, she's watching him. She's like, do you want to go? And he said, yeah, let me shower real quick. I had to hoop with them. Then we can chill. And he says, and yeah, the beach is dope at night. She says, me and Maddie can walk over after you shower and bet. He says, maybe. She says, hit me up after you shower. LOL. And she says, we're going soon. We can scoop. Babe, get ready fast. Bruh, I'm about to be mad AF. You better be ready because you're coming with us, babe. And she emphasizes it. And he says, I'm about to shower. She says, you don't have time. You're going to get more dirty. He says, I'm soaked. He says, Mackenzie says, just shower tomorrow. He says, no. She says, how fast will you be? He says, super soaked. Mackenzie says, do you have to wash your hair? LOL. He says, yeah. She says, just wash body fast AF. Then we're scooping you. He says, I gotta wash my hair. She says, OMG, no. I swear to God, just do it tomorrow. You said you would come. Please do it later. Please, babe. He says, I gotta wash my hair. Give me half hour. She says, okay, hurry. Wait. He says, or just go without me. She says, Dom, please just shower later. I want you to come. Please. Please, babe. I really want you to come. And he says, I have to at least shower. I have to wash my hair. She says, just wash your body and hurry. Not your hair, please. Please, babe, just your body. I want you to come, like, please. I'm for real begging you. Do this for me. He says, why do I have to be so fast? She said, it's already 9. Please come. We're trying to leave like now because I'm waiting for you. It's already late. He says, just leave then. She says, no, you said you would come. He says, you're rushing me. She says, like, can you please just wash your body? You said you can come. I wouldn't have been rushing if you answered a while ago. He says, I don't know though. She said, I thought you were in the shower. Like, you told me you were. I'm about to be mad AF. He says, I'm about to get in. She says, I'm about to flip. I want you to come. He says, you're making me to wait to get in. She says, just get in and don't wash your hair. Like, no one wants to wait. He says, just go then. She says, I want you to come though, so it's fun for me. He says, I'm in the shower right now. She says, it's not going to be fun if you don't come. She literally, like, Dom is like, she cannot enjoy her life if Dom is not around. Like, she's so dependent on him. It's disgusting. I don't get it. He could have just been done showering already. He's playing games. He's acting like he wants to go, but he doesn't. He's like, oh, I'm showering. And it's like, you're just lying. You don't even want to go. You're just making that an excuse. She says, it's not going to be fun if you don't come. Just wash body. You're going to get more dirty. Please just wash your body and get ready fast. He says, nah. She says, WTF. Thanks, Dom. I don't know why you can't do shit for me when I ask. I told you I'm not going to have fun without you, bruh. Like, we all want you to come. He says, you're making me mad now. And she says, I'm mad the F. You told me you would come. He says, I thought we were going at night. She said, I said later, and it's late right now, and you have to shower and wash your whole body. It is night. It's going to be dark soon. Please come. Dom, for real, I'm not going to go if you don't come. He says, N-word, I could be washing my hair right now, but instead I'm texting you. She says, how fast can you be out? Be out in less than 20 minutes. She says, we can wait at your house if you want. Alexa has to be home at 11. I need you to answer. They say now or never. Can you just meet us there? And he says, okay, then go. I'm still in shower. She says, I'm mad AF at you. Thanks for not effing trying at all. We were supposed to be effing hanging today. Thanks, Dom. Like, you could have just washed your body off. You had to be extra just because you feel like it. And it's not effing cool. Now I'm upset AF. I shouldn't even have got my hopes up. He says, so can I wash my hair now? And she says, wow, you're effing DICK. WTF is wrong with you? Are you trying to be funny? He says, I'm being for real. She says, it's not effing funny. He says, y'all are going, right? And she says, you were going to wash your effing hair in the first place. The F? Because you only care about what you're doing. I texted you like a half hour ago, and I can't believe you did this shit. Shit fake as hell. When you tell me later I'm effing ready, and of course you have to go wash your entire body when I'm trying to take you to effing Edgewater, and you're not even going to say sorry or anything. You know I wanted you to come, but you never do anything. I ask. He says, I didn't know we were going at 9. She says, it closes at 9, Dom. He says, the F, we do so much. She says, I'm effing mad at you. Like WTF. He says, you didn't tell me that. She says, well, now I get to get upset. Thanks so much. Thanks for doing this, Dom. It means a lot. And he says, I still have my hair tied up. I'll just wash it. Thanks for making me waste hot water. Wait, I still have my hair tied up. I guess I'll just wash it. Thanks for making me waste hot water. Wow. So now she's making him waste hot water. Sorry, he has good hygiene. He's being a DICK. What's her obsession with seeing sorry? What's the obsession with Dom? Wait, Melly, what? What do you mean? I'm just saying, like, what's the big deal here, you guys? It's a defense mechanism. Sorry. Don't come for me. I don't act like that with anyone when I was her age. Anyone else. Grown up enough to do all the rugs. That's right, Rose Gold. All she needed to do was lose interest and stop inviting him. He'd contact her then. Right, Kelly. It's sad, not disgusting. It's both. Manipulation on his part. He likes watching her break down. That's a good point. He's like, dumb. So she says, he says, okay, you made me waste hot water. And she says, like, ignore me all day, then do this. You ignore me all effing day. Like, I was surprised you even said yes. So I got excited. Then you screw me over. Like, I don't even want to go anymore. I'm upset. I just want to hang out with you. Like you said, we could early AF today. Like, I love getting screwed over. It makes me so happy. The F. Like, you can't even apologize. You know, I wanted you to come so bad. She removes an exclamation. I for real just want to go home. You better come to Edgewater. He says, I'm not coming to Edgewater when you're being a brat. She says, a brat? You're the effing one who ditched me. And he says, yeah, and you're being a brat about it. And she says, for sure, next time, don't ditch me. He says, I really didn't, but I. And she says, you did, but it's cool. Be ready next time. And he says, nah, I'm cool. Oh my God. She says, answer me. Are you effing joking? He says, why? What? She says, are you really asking what when you effing had one? He says, you already went. She says, nah, what the F is wrong with you? You were supposed to come with us. You chose to shower long ago. He says, well, you rushed me, so now I got to get the rest of my shit done, then do something. She says, you can drive here. Like, you make me look real stupid when you F me over, then post about the move like 5 minutes later. He says, I just want to go smoke a blunt or something. She says, nah, WTF, you could have smoked with us. You make me look so dumb. Answer right now. Answer the phone right now. I said right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. You guys thought I was like double playing that, huh? No, that's how many times she sent it. The same text. Yeah, no, I wasn't just repeating myself for fun, you guys. I hate to say it, but it's cases where kids are the perpetrators really break my heart. In ways I feel sorry for Kenzie. I don't think she ever had real love from parents. No, Mayla's mom, I agree. So he says, why? And she says, right now. Answer. Right now. Dom, if you don't answer, we're going to have beef. Dom, right now. If you don't answer, we're going to have beef. She sends it again. And then she says, you're such a liar and a DICK. And he says, we can smoke later, I guess. And she says, you trying to smoke with me and Maddie? Me and Maddie want to come over. Answer. Okay, we have beef right now. I'm done with this BS. You can't just ignore me whenever you effing feel like it. I guess me and Maddie will just come over when we back if you want to be like that. And she loves it. And he says, nah. What? And she says, I don't know why you think you can open Maddie's Snap and then completely ignore me. I'm not doing this quote unquote ignoring shit you need to. Stop now. Like you be doing the most petty shit. I don't give an F anymore. Why wouldn't I give an F? And he says, I opened it by accident. He questions her message. And then she says, you opened it and still ignored me. You chose not to answer. And she says, for no reason. And you're still on D&D for no reason. He says, no, I'm on D&D so I don't see these texts. She says, then get the F off. You have no reason to be on D&D other than to make me upset. And if you say no, then what did you do, huh? And he says, what? And she says, you have no reason to still be on D&D. And if you're not ignoring me, then what are you doing that for? Treat me how you treated me the 2 days we did fun stuff. He says, stop being a brat. She says, I'm not being a brat. You're the one being petty. LMAO, still. Childish as F. Stop treating me like shit, bruh. He says, no, I'm just chilling. She says, I'm with Carl. And he says, nice. She says, you need to say sorry to me too, by the way. You did me wrong today and you know you did. Get off D&D, stop treating me bad, and reply fast. It's not hard, bruh. You can't just be disrespectful when you feel like it. I don't deserve this. Let me hang early tomorrow. And he says, no, you're being a brat. She says, if you call me that again, we're going to have issues. He says, you ain't getting anywhere acting like a brat. She says, you treat me so shitty sometimes. You shouldn't be able to just do that so easy. It's effed up. And he says, sure. She says, what the F is wrong with you? Do you just do this for fun? You really did me wrong today. I swear you just keep doing me wrong. You don't even apologize or be nice. Dom says, no, all I did was hang out with you all I did was not hang out with you because I didn't know we had to leave by 9. I mean, it's not like I'm just not going to shower. And then you started acting like a brat. So then I didn't chill with you. Mackenzie says, I told you we were going 2 hours before I texted you we were coming. And you didn't answer for like 20 minutes. And the only reason I got mad was because you had to take a full ass shower that we both know takes over 30 minutes. Then I'm texting you, obviously upset, yet you continue to be rude. It's not fair, and I never deserve to be treated like this. Like, why is it so effing hard to just be nice to me? Like, just because we had a good ass last couple of days does not mean you can just ignore me and be rude the next couple of days. Like, I swear you're just trying to make me flip the F out. And he says, I was only supposed to play 1 game, but I had to play 2. But yeah, nah, still not a big deal. And even if I rushed in the shower, I still probably wouldn't have made it. And she says, did you remember you said yes to coming? I'm not having this fight. I'm so done with it. Next time, you better not pull some shit like that. It's annoying AF. You can apologize to me and try to hang out tomorrow. Or when I'm home, just me, I'm about to be home soon. And he says, I didn't know we had to leave by 9. I thought we were going at night. She says, I mean, by the time we got there, it was dark. He says, I don't know if we can hang tomorrow. She says, why? Bruh. I'm honestly so effing mad. Get off D&D right now, by the way, too. He says, no, I gotta leave it on. She says, why? You are for real such a DICK. And tell me why we can't effing hang tomorrow. And if you don't turn it off, we're gonna have issues, a lot of them. And she puts like 10 M's. He says, why are you threatening me? Here we go with the threats. She hates Carl. I know. Why is she with Carl? She's a fake ass. How do you expect anyone to take you seriously when you're typing words like bruh? How are they dating? I don't know. Did they tell each other I love you? I don't even know that they know what love is. So no. He says, why are you threatening me? Like all the times you threaten me. Well, he didn't say that, but why are you threatening me? He said. And she said, I swear you embarrassed the F out of me. And he says, how? She says, tell me why we can't hang out tomorrow, Dom. And he says, tell me how I embarrass you. I didn't do shit. She says, like, I get treated like shit all day for you to finally text me and treat me like this. How you're talking to me and treating me is embarrassing. I hate it. And he says, I didn't do shit today. I was busy. You wouldn't understand. She says, I do understand being busy. You weren't busy when you told me you were coming soon. I left you alone all the time you were busy too. He says, I was busy all day till I came home and played basketball. She says, why are you just trying to beef with me? And he said, what? And she says, okay, but you agreed to coming later before. He says, I agreed to come, but I didn't know what time. She says, like, I'm upset you didn't come. I'm upset because of how you treated me today. I told you later and you never told me a time when I asked to hang. I'm going to be home soon. Let me come over when I'm home. She says, OMFG, please get off D&D. And she says, I'm low-key upset about something I found out today, but it doesn't matter anymore. He says, no, I can't. She says, read the other stuff. Why do you take forever to reply an answer to one effing thing? I'm going to be home soon. Can I come over when I'm home? Why do you do this? Sure moves it, a dislike. He says, I was on the phone. She says, you still didn't answer to anything else. He says, what do you want me to answer to? She questions her message. She says, the two things I put, OMG, then just get off the iMessage. I swear to God. She questions, I'm going to be home soon. He says, I can't. She questions, I'm low-key upset. She says, why? And you still only reply to one thing. And he says, what? She says, like, you only answered one thing. Oh my gosh. Did you guys not read the full sentence in the text? You only answered me to one thing. She's only 15. He's 18. This is like trauma bonded. This is like, I feel like this is a trauma bonded relationship. It totally is. According to most sources, they were dating for 4 years at the time of the murder. Yes, true. She would have been 13. Yes. 15 at the time of the text. Exactly, Jenny. Thank you. She says, like, you only answered one thing. I want you to answer all. Oh my God, she's nuts. He says, and yeah, it's late. I don't want to chill. It's late now. She says, can we chill tomorrow? And did you see what I said about finding something out? And he says, maybe. And yeah, what was it? She says, aren't you going to ask what it is? She says, and can we just chill after the grad party I go to with Maddie? Please reply fast. He says, I just asked. She says, that one day you were with Maddie, you went to the gas station with her and you drove her home, which I don't really F with, that I'm cool. Which I don't really F with, that I'm cool with you chilling with her in a group, but not just you and her. Oh my gosh. So now she's mad about Maddie. He drove in the car. Maybe he cheated on her with Maddie. He is just a little cheater. You guys, don't come for me. We know he cheated so many times before. Why was he with Mackenzie if he didn't even like her, wanted her out of the house? He cheated on her. He was mean to her. I mean, I don't care how crazy Kenzie is because we know she's batshit crazy. But like, why does he keep being on her and cheating? Maddie was in his phone as Joseph. That's right, Cree. Thank you for reminding me. I was too busy thinking about the cyberbullying. But yes, you're right. Maddie was Joseph. I also think he cheated a lot. I can't even believe it. I can't believe this. They're just a bunch of cheaters and liars. He's been cheating for years. She was selling for her cookie. That's true. She was selling that cookie. Okay, she says, I don't really F with that. I'm cool with you chilling with her in a group, but not just you and her. Like, I'm really stressing about it because it happened so long ago, but you didn't tell me that. Oh, so she found out, remember the last live, she found out that they were hanging out. And now she's finding out that he drove her home. Who knows what freaky stuff they did in the back seat. Just kidding. I didn't know that I don't know that they did anything in the back seat. I'm just totally made that up. But still, do you know what I mean? Anything is possible here. She says, I just want to cry right now. I'm honestly so effing upset. Question mark, question mark. Oh, so you're just going to leave me on red? She questions it, sends 10 question marks. Then she says, WTF. She says, what the F is wrong with you? If you don't answer, I'm about to pull the F up. Okay, we def have beef now. You disrespectful as shit. And then she says, leaving someone on red after they type more than one paragraph is not okay to do, especially doing it 3 times in a row. You guys, have you guys ever thought of this? Okay, wait, leaving someone on red after they type more than one paragraph. Okay, so now I'm going to pay attention when I type more than one paragraph. Then she says it's not okay to do, especially 3 times in a row. Who pays attention to these kinds of things? Like, I type more than just one paragraph. Laura says, I honestly think Dom's brains are not even together. He's just waiting for her to dump him because he doesn't have the balls to do it himself. He's trying to make her dump him and it's not working. Exactly. Mackenzie was a cheater, so why is she on him for cheating? Why are they on each other for cheating? Why not just break up? It's really not that hard. Unless, like, I guess you're in a financial situationship. But like someone said earlier, like she was selling that kitty, so she could have done her own thing. I don't know, just what someone said. Okay, so, well, I said it too. So then she says, I'm just going to pull up and not tell you when. And she says, see you soon. And he says, nah, I'll dip. She says, well, you're not going to know. She says, I might not even come. And all you had to do was not leave me on red and reply. But some reason your brains tells you to do it, not once, but 3 times. You acting really childish, to be honest. He says, nah, for real, I'm just not dealing with it. She says, when I tell you I'm upset about something, you should care. He says, just go to bed. Because this is on 5:28 at 12 in the morning. And she says, every time I catch you lying, you shut down like a baby. Don't tell me to go to bed, N-word. What the F? You go the F to bed. And she sends a screenshot. And then she says, there, you can read it again so I can answer, smiley. And he says, okay, I'll go to bed. She says, WTF. No, answer. Or I'm pulling up. I think we should just egg his house. Okay, 1. Oh, no, she meant on my way. She says, I know you're not going to bed. He says, why and why? And why? She says, why? Maybe because you can't answer shit. Your reply is dry AF. And if you say more than 3 things, it's disrespectful AF. What? And if you say more than 3 things, it's disrespectful AF. And he says, I'm tired. She says, I don't really believe that, to be honest. He says, okay, then. She says, see, LMAO, dry or disrespectful. You're just proving my point. Dom says, you're being disrespectful. She says, you can apologize to me too. I'm not. And he says, why the F you going to egg Carl? She says, I'm trying to have you reply. He's an effing piece of shit. If he comes near me, I'm going to slap the F out of him. Dom says, what the F did he do? Mackenzie says, I hate him more than I hate my aunt's boyfriend. Oh. Hate him more than I hate my aunt's boyfriend. So like some family drama. Regardless if they cheat on each other, that's still no reason to do what she did. That's true. She says, I hate him more than I hate my aunt's boyfriend. Like I'm with Maddie and Alexa and his ugly ass is talking shit to Alexa. F everyone. Everyone fake. And he says, you know what's not fake? He says, money. She says, I don't care. I don't care about money. I care about people respecting me and treating me with love. And it's still hard to get that. Like, I just want to cry, but I can't because I'm with people. You doing this makes things a lot worse too. Nice. You leave me on red every time I spill my heart out. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. Dom's annoying. Like, really, money? Why is he acting like he's Lil Wayne? You know what I mean? Chill out. Chill out. She's a scammer. Mackenzie? Dom needs the chaos of the relationship as much as Mackenzie needs the obsession. Ooh, that's good. She cares about money. She says she hates broke bitches. That's also true, but Mackenzie's Mackenzie. She's nothing special. So I don't get why she puts herself on a pedestal, but okay. Anyways, so he says, oh. And she says, oh, for real? He says, what? She says, that's what you're going to say to me? Oh. And he says, I don't know what else to say. And she says, thanks for letting me know you're never going to be there for me. He says, that's really harsh. I've been there for you hella, but thanks for not recognizing it. She says, it's really harsh when I spill my heart out telling you I'm struggling and you say, oh. Dom says, okay. She says, okay, we can do this. And he says, what do you mean? She says, you'll see. Where you at? I have a surprise for you. He says, if you come to my house, we're not cool no more. If you come to my house, wait, did I just read that one? Oh, he sent it twice. She says, come in your room. My ride waiting outside. Come apologize. Then I'm gone. My ride is outside. He says, no, I'm gone. Wait. She showed up. And she's saying, and she's in his room. And she's saying she has a ride. Right? And then Dom says, no, I'm gone. And she says, if you don't say sorry, then I'm leaving and we're going to have an issue. He says, who the F drove you here this late? Because it's 12:39 p.m. He says, I'm salty. She says, I'm with people. I told you I'm with my friends. He says, you can't have random people pull up to my house this late. What do you mean? You don't have friends. Oh. Yeah, he was like, what do you mean you don't have friends? She says, F you. He says, I'm joking. She says, you're an effing piece of shit. Who thought that was funny? What the F is wrong with you? Wow. You are effed up. He says, I always make that joke since I was a little kid. She says, wow, that's so funny. He says, yeah, just don't be coming to my house this late with people. She says, I'm laughing my ass off so hard that I'm crying. He says, that's not cool. She says, if you don't apologize, we're going to have an issue. He says, I'm sorry. She says, LMAO, LMAO. And he says, now go home. She says, no, the F you not. To my fave? Oh, to my face. She did a typo. And then he says, no. She says, I'll wait. He says, no. She says, if you don't come to apologize, we're going to have issues. If you can't do that, then you don't care. He says, we already have issues because you just came to my house with people. That's not cool at all. She says, Dom, they're in the car. I'm in your house. I wouldn't bring people in your effing house. He says, it doesn't matter. Either way, you can't bring people to my house. She says, come apologize right now. And that's my ride, Dom. You hang with Maddie all the time, though. She's not random. He says, who the F is at my house? She says, Alexa and Maddie in the car. I'm sorry. Why is she hanging out with Maddie? Like, if Maddie is interested, why in Dom? Why is she still hanging out with Maddie? Yeah, how does she get in his house at 12:30 a.m.? That's crazy. She says, Alexa and Maddie in the car. He says, we're not cool. She says, I'm in your room waiting for you to apologize. I love the forced apology. I know, right? She says, I'm waiting in your room for you to apologize. If we're not cool, I'm not leaving. Dom, we're not doing this. Stop being childish and come out. She says, I'm not trying to fight with you. WTF. He says, no, we're not cool anymore. No, we're not cool. Don't come to my house at 1 a.m. with people. We are not cool at all. Dom doesn't want people over at his house that late because he's selling rugs. So that's why he's so mad. I really don't like when she says we're going to have an issue. She treats him like shit all the time and threatens him with that. He says, no, we're not cool. Don't come to my house at 1 a.m. with people. We're not cool at all. And she says, you have been so mean all day when I tell you it's been rough. What the F? I'm mad at you. You did me so effing wrong today and you can never apologize to me. I'm so effing nice to you. I let you do whatever you want and you treat me like effing shit. And he says, now they all pissed, asking who's in the driveway. And I'm not even home. She says, we're not even there. He says, you left? She says, I've been left so long ago. He says, for sure. And I didn't really do anything. Good night, babe. He says, I'm sorry, Kenzie. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So we're all mad about people being... She sunk her teeth in and didn't let him go. Thank you, Tisha. She sunk her teeth in when she is nice to him. His brother also had schizophrenia and hallucinations of people trying to come to their house. Interesting. He says, I'm sorry, Kenzie, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then she says, I'm done with this shit. You would have never done this to any of your friends. I'm the only person you treat like this. And he says, I'm done with you acting like this. She says, I've told you I'm going through shit and you're just making me so much more upset. And she says, Dom says, think all you want. Your mental filter is effed up. She says, if you told me you were going through shit, I'd be there for you. Dom, I'm allowed to be upset about whatever the F I want. I need you to be effing supportive, not unsupportive. Please answer. She emphasizes it. And he says, these days really make me doubt us. And she says, I'm not trying to be a brat at all. I know you know that, Dom. Okay, if this day is making him doubt their relationship, how is this 2020 and they were still together for 2 years until she killed him? You guys. Well, I know we didn't forget. Did we forget? We didn't forget. Like, she literally drove into a building 100 miles per hour. I just try to think about this when we're not reading these text messages. I'm like, just think about how fucking insane that is. Like, a building 100 miles per hour. She's ruthless, whether she thought of taking her own life or not. This is crazy. Like, would us normal human beings think like this? No. One, because we're normal. But two, like, you have to think she must have been in the mindset of like, I don't care if I die at this point too, right? Like, someone has to think of that, right? Before they do something like this. Like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. Anyways, she says, I'm not trying to be a brat at all. I know you know that, Dom. When I'm upset and I come to you, all you have to do is be nice and it will cheer me up. I ask for a little love, support, respect, and loyalty. And most of the time you show me all of those, but when you don't, it really upsets me a lot. Can you please talk on the phone with me, Dom? I'm begging. He says, no, I don't F with you. He says, you came to my house. She says, question mark. What? He says, I don't F with that either. She says, I was there for 2 seconds, seeing you weren't there and left. He says, even worse. Now I'm really mad. She says, how the F is that worse? You wanted me to effing stay there. I don't get it. You for real make me feel like I do everything wrong. He says, nah, I'm mad AF at you. She says, you are so confusing. He says, you always think you're right, but you're not. She says, I'm not effing right. We both are wrong. She says, I'm wrong by coming over and you're wrong by continuing to treat me this way after I told you I'm upset. He says, you're really making me doubt you. She says, you can't just go there every time we have a gay ass fight. It's not right. I told you I'm just going through shit, Dom. Why would you even say that? He says, I don't know if we will make it. Wow. He says, I don't know if we will make it. And she says, we will. We always do. Stop trying to do that every time. She says, Dom says, no, I'm being serious. I think about this all the time. She says, wow, I hate my effing life so much. I thought you were starting to really love me a lot. I'm so effing sad right now. I'm like hyperventilating. Dom says, you don't just need love. It's more than that. Wait, I need to go back. So she says, I thought you were starting to really love me a lot. What? You guys have been together for a minute. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is confused. I thought you were really starting to love me a lot. And then he says, you need more than love. She says, like, you can't just tell me you can't just not tell me you think about the shit. I thought we were perfect. We had so much fun. And you call me princess. Not him calling her princess. So that gives her the right to kill him. Hey, Robert. Not the princess. I'm dead. I know we're going to be using that now. She says, you call me princess. If I for real can't breathe good right now. Why does she always act like she's literally dying? Like, it really gets on my damn nerves. 2 years of this insanity was destined to end tragically. This is so toxic. It literally makes me like attention point. I don't really think she would kill him. She literally depends on him. She's like, she claims she can't breathe just because they're fighting. Who manipulates people like this? It's disgusting. Princess is what you call your toddler, said Mandy. Mandy's like, don't talk to me like that. Don't call me princess. Okay. She says, I for real can't breathe good right now. She's like suffocating. He says, I don't know why you do this. Dom is so over it. He's like, here we go again. He's like, I don't know why you do this. She said, I didn't do anything. I swear I haven't been this hurt in a while. I don't know what to even do. Like, you didn't tell me you think about all the time. Do you think, like, you didn't tell me you think about all the time. Do you think about it when I'm cuddling with you or we're doing a bit together? Oh, we're doing shit together, she said. She did a typo. She says, like, you didn't tell me you think about that all the time. Do you think about it when I'm cuddling with you or when we are doing shit together? Oh, so now she's like, oh, the cuddling. You don't mention you don't like me when you're cuddling me. She threatened to kill him with the vehicle the week before. Yeah. Something must have happened. Something must have switched. Narcissist much? Yes. She says, when we're doing shit together. She says, like, you apologized to me last night. I seen it, but I didn't answer you. You can't say sorry, then keep being so mean to me. And he says, I said sorry, then you started being mean first. Get the F out of here. She says, I wasn't being mean, Dom. He says, I'm done with this. She says, and you can answer to that one thing. I don't want to argue with you. He says, I'm done talking. You're wasting my time. I am hungry. She says, I'm effing bawling my eyes out. He says, and now I'm frustrated and kind of sad. But yeah, leave me alone now. She says, I don't want you to be any of those. Can you please call me for 5 seconds? He says, no. She says, please. He says, no, I don't want to talk to you. She says, please, Dom, just 5 seconds. It's really important. You don't have to say anything. Just listen to me. She removes a question mark. She removes another question mark. Please, Dom. Please. He says, no. She says, now you're on D&D. You know how to hurt me. I swear. I'm not going to spam you. I never do that. You never do that? Oh my God, I'm over here dying. You guys, she says she never does that. She never spams him. I'm dying. I just hope that one day she tells the truth. Nah. It's going to be like many of the other true crime cases, you know, where they don't give up the location of the body. Like 𝐼𝐸𝐴𝐺 case. Like, are they ever going to find him? It's a possibility they won't. Where's Sebastian Rogers' body? Where's Summer Wells? She's never going to come clean. She's not going to be like, yeah, I did it on purpose. You know what I mean? Spam. She says, I never do that. And he says, I'm not trying to. She says, you know how I get when you go on D&D, when you don't take the 5 seconds to let me call you and say what I have to say. I said, you don't even have to say anything back. Like, I've been having a hard time this week because of a lot of things and I can't control my sadness sometimes, just like when you get mad. He says, just text it. She says, like, I just need you to be there for me, even if it's only for 5 minutes. He says, I don't want to talk to you right now. She says, I'm sorry if I was being a brat. I wasn't trying to. I was just hurt that you didn't try to come. I really wanted you to come. I really don't want to lose you, Dom. You're my babe and my best friend. I can't imagine life without you. That's why these texts are in the evidence package. It proves she couldn't live without him. I'm committed listening to, thank you, Uploader. Uploader says, I'm committed listening to these texts here. You guys, don't be cheating on me. Okay? Don't pull a Dom or Mackenzie. Oh my God. Is that too soon? Oh no. That was premeditated. Hey, Emily. Bottled up everything and then just exploded. I lived with a narcissist. I'm intrigued. Wasn't her family into witchcraft or something? Yes, I did hear this. Shelby's like, LMAO. If I see you guys somewhere else, I swear I'm walking across the country to where you guys are. Okay? I'm walking right now. I'm there outside your door. Do you guys see me? Do you see me? Number one crush, Kenzie. Wow, right? Oof. Okay, princess. Lori just called me princess. Can you guys call me Princess Melly from now on, please? Shelby's like, I'm loyal, bruh. Quit stalking. Okay, so she says, I can't imagine life without you. I hate fighting with you so much. It makes me so upset. Okay, thanks for leaving that on red. He says, you can be soulmates and not be ready for each other. Wow. That's the first thing I actually like. That's one thing I really like that he said. Art Blickle, you get no space. Bet. And if one of you doesn't take me to Baskin Robbins by the end of this live, we're going to have problems. He says, we can be soulmates and not be ready for each other. Facts. That was deep. You guys take a screenshot and put this as your screensaver, okay? So then she says, I don't know. I really can't lose you, Dom. I just wish you would put in a little more effort with me. I care about you so effing much. You're probably you're the only person I would take a bullet for. Hey, fish punching octopus. Melly is no one's side chick. You guys get it right and get it tight. Melly, just don't wash your hair before. You guys, I've been showered in 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. I want some ice cream. You guys, she says I would take a bullet for you, but then I'm going to kill you in the crash. Abuelita's like, mentirosa. Abuelita's like, I ain't having her lies. Nope. Abuelita's like, I don't got time for it. Dude. That's crazy. I just don't want to fight anymore. She says, I have to go have a rough week. I'm about to have a rough next week and I can't go through it alone. Boo-hoo. He says, just go to your party. She says, I know. Can you drop off some bud and dabs for me, though? We can hang another day. I think we need a break for today. Wow. You guys, that's the first time Mackenzie says we need a break. Every other time it's Dom. Loco en la cabeza. That's right. The drama. You guys, hell is literally freezing over. I'm going to turn into an ice statue right now. So I'm ending the live, turning into an ice statue. Whoa. That's right, the uploader. Whoa. She says, I think we need a break for today. And she says, I just got another email from that Hamilton thing. What do you want me to do? Question mark, question mark. You can't just not reply when I ask you a question. And he says, no. She says, okay, or just make no sense. Do you want me to just cancel the whole order? He says, probably. He says, when is the other thing coming in? She says, the gun thing? Ask Dom. Didn't you use his email? And he says, that's what she said. And then, what does she mean? Ask Dom. Didn't use his email. And he says, oh, okay. She says, I'll see if I can check, though. He says, no, I thought we did it off of your phone. She says, I also don't know how to cancel the order. What is Hamilton's? Is that a firearm store? Is that what it is? Was he trying to buy a firearm? I don't know. Is that a firearm store? You guys might know better than me. I feel like it's time to show. How close are these? Not Rebecca. Rebecca, we're in 2020 right now. She says, I also don't know how to cancel the order. This is May 28th, 2020. She says, I'll figure it out. He says, okay, then leave it. I don't want to effing text about all of this. She says, why do you just block me on Insta? That shit makes my heart drop. Please unblock. Did you post something about throwing a party too? He says, me and Husani throwing a B&B party for the seniors. No, you can't go. Him and his friends are throwing a party and she is not invited, you guys. You know there's going to be a huge fight, a huge scene. Get ready for it. Hamilton is suburban area. But she said they were buying something off Hamilton's. So is there like a store called Hamilton's? I don't know. So he says, me and Husani throwing a B&B party for the seniors. No, you can't go. Oh, bring a BYB, bring your own booze. I think that's what he meant, right? And then she says, WTF. He's like, no, you can't go. And she's like, WTF, thanks, Dom. You always find a way to leave me out. She says, you always find a way to leave me out. It means a lot. We were supposed to go to an Airbnb and have fun night. We talked about that so long ago. Oh, so him and his friends got an Airbnb. And she's like, that was my idea. He's like, you're so dumb. You know what? Like, I could not be with somebody who kept calling me dumb like this. Like, it's so disrespectful. Yeah, hit the like, please. Hit the like button, please. There's a bead company called Hamilton's. Oh, interesting. Thank you for that. She's not a senior. I know, but she thinks she belongs, like where he is, everywhere he is, she wants to belong. So he says, "You're so dumb." She says, "Then explain. Don't call me names." He says, "Figure it out yourself, hot shot." She says, "You're going to invite everyone but me? What the hell is wrong with you? Stop being effing mean." I'm not even being mean. He said, "Just because I said me and you can get an Airbnb doesn't have to do with anything. You are really effing annoying." And she says, "Why the F are you being so mean? I did nothing. Why are you trying to hurt me? I was trying to have a convo with you," she said. Wait, you guys. Okay. Something just popped into my head. He is going to have a party with his friends and they're going to get an Airbnb, right? And he doesn't want her to go. Is he making a fight with her? There's a Hamilton's dispensary, says Males. That's probably what it is, the dispensary. Is he making a fight with her and like picking a fight with her because he doesn't want her to go to the party and he wants to be like a little cheater? Oh my God, don't come for me. I know sometimes I get people in the comments who are like, "How dare you have Mackenzie's back?" And I'm like, okay, hold up. Chill out. Maybe you need to smoke the blunt. I'm like, chill out. No one said I have Mackenzie's back. But I'm thinking like, is this his way of like fighting and getting the opportunity to do what he wants to do and having no consequences, which is a real dick move. Sorry, I say D-I-C-K when I'm reading them, but then I'm over here mad and I'm like saying the word. They're all 18. She's 15 at the party, got busted. They'd be in way more trouble with her. Well, they both played a huge part. He said it was yeah, but like, I feel like if the seniors are dating someone, you know what I mean? They would bring their partner. At least I dated a senior. Yes, I did. Just kidding. You guys are going to, please don't block me. Please don't block me. No, I did. And he would bring me everywhere. So I guess it just depends. He dogged her. But I could see what you mean, Mallory. Like some things are like only seniors only. You know what I mean? Not if she was annoying. Abuelita's like, not if she's annoying as hell. Okay, so she says, "I was just trying to have a convo with you." She says, "Like you called me 3 times for no reason." Dom says, "You said stuff that's not true at all and pretend like it is at this." She says, "What the F did I say that's not true?" Question mark, question mark, question mark. She says, "What the F is wrong with you? You need to chill the F out. I did nothing to you, and all you've been doing is being so hurtful. I help you out, and I'm there for you all the effing time, and I still get treated like this. Like, I don't know why the F you had to scream in my ear either. That did nothing." Oh, so she called him, and he yelled at her on the phone. And she says, like, what kind of person blocks their girl on Insta for no reason? Like, I don't deserve any of this shit. Okay, Mackenzie, if you don't deserve it, then know your worth and walk away. Like, I don't understand. She talks about being a badass bitch, but she does nothing except harass him. Okay, like, fine, you're better. Fine, do something else. And I don't know, figure it out. Sometimes I feel like I can sense his friend's advice coming through his text with her. Yeah, I know. His friends are probably like, "Stop dating her, break up with her. She's crazy AF. We don't want to hang out with her. We don't want to smoke the blunt with her. She has," the uploader said she has 0 games and she is not a bad bee. Jordan says he used her because he knew she was always there. They're probably like, "Dude, please don't bring her this time." Oof. That sucks. She says, Like, what kind of person blocks a girl on Insta? I don't deserve any of this. And I don't know why you had to lie about the party, because Husani said, hit me up if you want to go on his story. I'm not dealing with you acting like this. So you better start giving the love I deserve. Wow. The love she feels she deserves, guys. He says, F you. She says, LOL, and you mad? Do I ditch you, ignore you, block you, hide things from you? Question mark. Imagine how I feel on the inside, never being able to get my anger out because every time I try to get my point across, you shut down. Yeah, and he says, yeah, because you say our word. Yeah, because you say our shit and make me mad. You guys know that word. I don't like to say it. And Mackenzie says, LMAO, that doesn't mean shut down and start treating me like shit for however long you feel. He says, no, I don't care anymore. I'm done with you. If I hear how many times, like, he says he's done with her, it's insane. And they literally were still together for 2 years after this. He says, no, I don't care. I'm done with you. And she says, you say dumb stuff sometimes too. No, you're not, she said. He says, you made me so mad. She says, we're not doing this over text. This is on 5/28 at 4:18 p.m. She says, Dom, I've been mad for so long. You never truly apologized to me, and you can't even let me talk to you when I need to. Like, I've told you 5 times, I'm going through a lot and I need you to be there for me, and you're still choosing to treat me like shit. It's honestly making me feel a lot worse. Like, I've been crying all day and all you seem to give an F about is you being mad. Like, I care about you. I do not want you to be mad. And she says, holy shit, whenever I say anything about myself, you leave me unread. You're really showing how little you care. He doesn't respond. And she says, reply, bruh. When are you going to learn? Dom, okay, we're hanging later. And he says, no. She says, yeah, or tomorrow. She says, no. Dom says, no. And she says, yeah, we are, Dom. I'm getting dabs and bud. Then if you want to not be cool, you can say it to my face tomorrow. I apologize to you today. I don't know why you need to still be mean to me. When someone is going through some shit, don't be mean to them because it makes it a lot harder. I feel like you like to hurt me. You remember that one day when we were cuddling, then we were talking about some shit? She sends a question mark, and he sends a question mark, and then she says, answer, Dom. He says, question mark. She says, it was like 2 to 3 weeks ago. We were cuddling and you asked me what I was thinking about. And I told you how you never tell me about your day or ask me about mine. Upsets me and makes me feel like you don't care or try. And you said you would try for me. Like, I just been thinking, like, I feel like you're just going to be doing this shit to me. And it's causing me so much stress. Like, this week has been really rough. I've been almost crying before bed every night. I just want things good with us like it was. Then I miss you so much. I just want you to treat me right so bad. It was really hard to type all of that, by the way. And then a blank text, and he says, we've been good till yesterday. I don't know why you cry every night. And I do ask you, but whatever. She says, Dom, it's not just from you. There are a lot of different things causing all this stress and shit. Like, today has been a bad day so far, and it's only getting worse. And you're still on D&D, and you stopped to block me. And those are 2 things cause me a lot of stress. You guys, this is insane. Her 10 cavities are really traumatizing, says walk away, Renee. Another Mackenzie motto, whenever something happens you don't like, no. You guys, this is insane. She's so gaslighting him right now. This is 2020. Yeah. 2 years before she offed him, in a sense. If that's how she feels, that like this relationship causes her that much stress, she really needs to get mental help. Like, you can't be that focused on like Like, she's literally obsessed with this. Like, from the area of her house, it's like a 3-minute walk. She's a lazy drama queen. I know she is. She says, you're still on D&D and you block me, and those are two things that cause me a lot of stress. He says, I blocked you because I'm heated and you send me pics of crying. She says, I wasn't crying. It was supposed to be a joke. And then Dom says, whenever you do that, I immediately block. Mackenzie said, I won't send jokes anymore. Can you unblock me? And is there a way you could give me dabs today? Can you just get off D&D and unblock me? She says. She emphasizes it. And he says, no, I can't. He says, I don't even have any at my house. She says, but I told you I'm not going to spam you. And I also forgot about that. Can you give me some tomorrow then? And can we please be cool? He says, bruh, I don't know what's going through my head or what I think of that for real. She says, please, Dom, I don't want to beef with you. We both apologize to each other. He says, nah, I want to explain to you what you do, but it's effing dumb. It just makes me feel dumb and frustrated when I try to. You just assume whatever and think it's right. And she says, I didn't know I did that. I will try not to do that. I try the best I can be, Dom. And when I'm going through some shit and I have to keep it to myself, it's really hard, but I'll try to stop. I wouldn't want you to do that to me, so I understand. She says, like, I try to give you space and friend time. I really try hard for you, Dom. And he says, nah. She says, I leave your house all the time so you can chill with Chris or Sheen, Dom. Be mature, like, bruh, I'm trying to work this out. Nah, like, I may get annoyed sometimes, but I always let you chill with Sheen or Chris. And then she sends a picture of, I think it's her pipe. She says that it's a video. She says that video makes me never want to eat fast food again. Oh, I don't know what she sent then. I thought it was a pipe. And then he says, yeah, you'll be like that one day. She says, no, I never eat fast food. Charlie's in Olive Garden is kind of fast food, is it not? She's so trashy. She lives a miserable life, so she's a bully. Now she's sucking up because she needs rugs. I know. What doesn't cause her stress? Apparently just Dom. That's all she thinks about. You guys realize these are in 2020, but it's literally every hour of the day. She doesn't do anything but revolve her world around Dom. It's making me think she is literally a psychopath killer. You know what I mean? She got obsessed, so obsessed, and then boom, she offs him in that car crash. She says, no, I never eat fast food. Do you think the smoking one is from tobacco or bud? And Dom says, tobacco. She says, oh, ew, KMS, which means kill myself. She says, LMAO. She says, not KMS, LMAO. And he says, true. She says, unblock on Insta. Why is he always blocking her on Insta? I feel like he's always blocking her on Insta because he wants to be talking to other girls and females and liking people's shit because they block each other every day. I'm like, holy cow. Well, you're not going to have fast food in prison. That's right, Shelby. Dangerously obsessed. That's right, Kimmy. Dangerously obsessed. This is a literal definition of deadly love, right? So then she says, unblock on Insta. I don't think I'm going to that party, she says. He says, why not? Go. And she says, Maddie doesn't want to go. Low-key annoyed because I waited and now we're just not going. Can me and you do something tonight? I'm so bored. Sad face. I've been doing nothing for days. It will be fun, please. And Dom said, she's probably still going. She says, I'm FaceTiming with her right now. She's saying she doesn't want to go anymore. He said, why? Mackenzie says, I have no idea. I wanted to go though. I'm so bored. Can we hang today? We can hope my foot is healed. I'm about to freak the F out, bruh. Bruh. Bruh, bruh, bruh. She says, bruh. And he says, what? He says, I'm chilling with Kyle right now. She says, can we hang out, smoke and chill, please? After. He says, why? She says, I'm not having a good day. I'll talk about it when I'm there. I'm so stressed out. She does that to manipulate him all the day. I'm not having a good day. I'm crying. Like, I'm just so sick of it. We're not gonna have, yeah, you're not. I'm about to be all mad now. Exactly. She says, I'll talk about it when I'm there. I'm so stressed out. Please, can I come over after you and Kyle leave? He says, probably not. She says, please, Dom. He says, just tell me now. She says, I for real need to talk to you. I keep hearing shit I do not want to hear at all. Like, I keep finding shit out and it's making me go crazy, bruh. Finding shit out? Oh my God. Here we go with the cheating. Huh. Here we go. Okay, she says, it's making me go crazy, bruh. He says, why? Like what? She says, I have way too much stress for this shit. He says, tell me or I don't care because I'm not going to wait. And she says, I'll be talking to Maddie and she'll tell me how she calls you and you answer right away. And then just tell her where you at. And that shit bothers me so much. Like she told me last night you were on the phone with her. I'm sorry. I think you guys know what I'm going to say. Maddie is a little snake. Oh, yeah, I just saw someone in the chat say, let me go back. I have to scroll up. Who said it? Rolly McScrolly says her friend Maddie is a little snake too. You guys, Maddie wanted to bone Dom to his core. Like jump on him and bone him. Sorry, it's inappropriate, but I'm sick of it. Like all I hear, well, we hear a lot of stuff, but I mean, Maddie seems to be the center of this thing right now. Maddie knows what she's doing. He wants her to break up with him. So does Dom like Maddie more than Mackenzie? If not, why not just break up with her and date Maddie? Maddie's the ringleader. Maddie's probably trying to break him up. Maddie probably wanted Dom. Maddie girl, where you at? I'm just kidding. No. No, but for real. She probably wanted Dom. Not dumb, Dom. And she probably wanted Dom. And, you know, I have a feeling about this. Like I'm a girl's girl. So I feel like girl code, you shouldn't be hitting on your friend's man. But I feel like hardly any woman in 2025 follow the girl code. But I think Maddie's fucking up there. And two, I feel like Dom is being a prick. Why are you trying to get with her friend? You guys know I play devil's advocate. I'm gonna look at both sides. I'm gonna call it out for what it is. He should have left Kenzie for Maddie. Period. Okay, so she says you were on the phone with her. And there's so much other shit going on too, like multiple people talking shit about me, Alexis, Farron, and effing Carl. Like I've been alone for days and I just need my babe. And he says, I was not on the phone with Maddie last night. And Mackenzie says, she told me that. She called you because you were throwing shit at someone's car at Folds. And Maddie even knows the detail. Ooh, you know Maddie's not lying. You know he called Maddie and was on the phone, or they were on the phone. Why would Maddie girl just make that up, dude? She might be trying to piss off Mackenzie. He lied. Maddie, pull up. We got questions. That's right, fish punching octopus. Maddie, come to Mellyverse. We need to know. She's a wannabe Regina George. Not the toaster strudel. Only one thing wasn't aware the judge got a great glimpse of her. Yeah. So then he says, and you've been hanging with people. What do you mean? She says, are you for real? Like you didn't call her? I mean, she didn't call you. And he says, and who the F cares if they talk shit about you? I don't know. It just bothered me because I did nothing wrong, she says. Like, it's not fair. Dom says, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We were throwing shit at someone's car and Maddie knew them somehow. No. Maddie didn't know them. Now he's lying. He's trying to be like, oh, Maddie knew the people we were throwing things at, like trying to play it off like he wasn't on the phone with her. That's why you leave Mackenzie on red. That's why you don't answer her phone calls, because you over there cupcake into Maddie girl. You just have to remember that Mackenzie is a master manipulator and twists everything around and makes everyone look bad. I'm over here freaking out about this Maddie thing. You guys, Maddie needs to come up to the stand. Melly versus court. I am the judge, and she needs to come up there and tell her side of the story. Lame-ass excuse. Okay, so he says, yeah, threw something at Maddie. Yeah, Maddie knew them. And he says, and I don't have her in my phone, so I didn't know who it was. Oh my gosh. Now he's like, I don't know who that is. But remember, he's like, I don't have her in my phone. Well, you don't have her in your phone, because she was under Joseph. Do you guys remember the last live? That she found out that Maddie was under Joseph? Yeah, Deliria. Mm-hmm. Emily's like, yeah, sure, I'm done. Deliria, Joseph. Mm-hmm. Maddie is Joseph in the contacts. So he says, I didn't even know who it was. And she said, I thought it was Joseph. I'm dead. We're so deep into these text messages, we're almost predicting what's happening here. Abuelita says she's under Joseph. Mackenzie and Dom couldn't even try to play any of us. It would be good for Maddie to say her side. Yeah, Maddie girl, because now we all just thinking you a bot. Just kidding. Oh my God, don't come for me. But kind of really sort of. Like, come on. Don't be hanging out with your friend's boyfriend. Question mark. Molly, what's that thing you did with your finger? I did an air question mark. Question. Doop. Okay. So she said, I thought it was Joseph, LOL. And yeah, you told me that, but she was asking where you at, and you did tell her and AJ to pull up. Can we please hang after you and Kyle chill? It will be fun. And he says, no, I didn't want her or Carl to pull up, but AJ could have, yeah. She says, oh, okay, LMAO. And he says, and yeah, that shit annoying. And she's like, I'm not trying to be a bitch, LMAO. I'm just talking to you. And he says, I finally get high and you kill my high. I think Dom is high like every day. High on life or something, right? He says, I can finally get my high and you kill my high. And she says, shake my effing head. Don't blame me. I wasn't trying to make you mad or anything. I was just trying to have a convo with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill your high. She says, please hit me up when you leave Kyle's. Please be nice to me. I think Maddie and me going again. Can we hang after? And he says, whose grad party is it even? She says, it's one of the girls from Brunswick. I don't know her. He says, probably a thought. Mackenzie says, she has a pool. LMAO. Probably me and Maddie only going for the pool. We want to swim. Answer about chilling after the grad party. She says, I already told Trevor I'd come through, and I told Thomas we can chill. She says, make time for me. You chilled with Thomas yesterday. He says, I really don't have any. She says, you can make some. She says, chill with me after Trevor. We still have to fix that cart thing. He says, I have to chill with Trevor at like 8:30, then chill with Thomas. She says, please don't chill with Thomas. Chill with me instead. It will make me so happy. And he says, if he can't, maybe, but probably not. Just go to the party, he says. And then she says, I'm going to the party. I'm saying after, babe. She said, like, when I'm back, just hang me and you. He says, no. She says, why? If you have time, be nice to me, babe. He said, I said I can't like 3 times. Then I said, maybe if Thomas can't. She said, okay, I hope we can. Have fun today. He says, yeah, go have fun at the party. This is on 5/28, 7:26 p.m. She says, I will, LOL. What are you doing now? And he says, at home, about to eat. Then he says, sorry about all the shit. You guys, this is where this gets under my skin. Why does he do this? Is he literally this confused with himself? Like, why? I get it. Like, he doesn't want to fight with her, but considering how bad it is, and then he always just wants to make up with her. Fight, 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 fight. Do what you want. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. I don't want to fight with you. I'm just like, what the hell are you doing, Dom? Like, I don't get it. He's in the mood for a piece of ass. Yeah, well, it's not even like he gets it. She tries to go over there all the time, and he's like, nah. And so she, like, what ass? You know what I mean? Like, he ain't getting none. Emily, love bombing. I feel like they should have done more for Mackenzie. Yeah. Oh, you mean in court? He said sorry. Oh my God. I do agree with you, Rebecca. He could just want her for a piece of ass, but then I'm like, he's not really getting any. Like, I feel like she goes over there like hardly ever because she's a game to him. So he says, sorry about all that shit. And she says, what are you eating? She says, this party's not good, to be honest. And he says, chicken wings. And yeah, I was about to ask that. And she says, like, the people here are not our kind of people. It's low-key awkward. And I'm hungry. He said, I wonder whose party it is. And she said, it's Stephanie's party. She's Maddie's friend. She's cool, but everyone else is weird. And he says, what if my homie was there, LMAO? And she said, who's your homie? And she said, that black kid me and Jared F with. She said, I don't think he's here. I'll def know if I seen him, though. And Dom says, LMAO, he asked who got a bottle. She said, who asked? You trying to do something tomorrow or tonight or tomorrow? And Dom says, he was trying to get some alcohol. That's why I thought maybe he'd be pulling up to the party. And she says, oh, LMAO, are you trying to hang tonight or tomorrow? This party is not that fun. And she says, bruh, Maddie and her friend pick us up, and he looks over 21. I got bad vibes. And Dom says, yeah, I don't know. She says, answer about chilling, LMAO. I'm trying to come hang with you. Please answer. Dom, answer me, please. Babe, please let me know if we can chill. And he says, I don't know if we can. She says, what are you doing right now? I'm trying to come over like soon. I want you to see my outfit too. Babe? And he says, probably not, babe. And she says, what are you doing? And can we hang tomorrow? I'm completely out of dabs and weed at the moment. Okay, so yeah, she could be using him for dabs and weed and having a plug. Maddie already reached puberty with the body. Abuelitas. Was Maddie one of those Halloween buddies? Oh, in the pictures. Oh, now I'm trying to remember if she was in those. I'm not sure. That's a good question. We shall investigate. She says, I'm out of dabs and weed. And Dom says, I'm at the house. She says, are you hooping or some shit? I'm at fault with Maddie, so we could just be chilling in the car. I want to go home, to be honest. He says, no, I'm dealing with shit. She says, okay, can we FaceTime later tonight? And can you unblock me? I want to send you some memes. She says, I'm going to be home in like 20 minutes if you want to FaceTime. And then he doesn't respond. And she says, I'm home. And he says, okay. She says, do you want to FaceTime? She says, babe, I haven't seen you in 5 days. She's like, let me come over early today. And he says, I don't know. And he says, when is the GUN coming? Oh, the GUN, the pew pew. And then Mackenzie says she sent like a shipping email, I think. And then she said, and please, I have no dabs or weed, babe. And he says, okay. She says, I just got these bumps all over my arms after I got out the shower. And did you say yes to letting me come hang early? So this is the next morning on 5/29. And he says, probably not. And she says, we haven't hung in 5 days. Why are you still saying no? That's not cool. Dom, can you not be mean or ignore me today? Can we please hang out? She emphasizes it. And he says, I'm sleeping. This is at noon. Literally during the day. Yeah, I don't know what the GUN was for. He says, why do you have to spam me? Why? And she says, oh, I thought you were already up. I wasn't spamming you. I waited 20 minutes till you called again. She says, why are you already starting to get mean with me? I'm just trying to effing see you. I miss you, and I haven't seen you in 5 days. Like, do you not miss me? She says, you've been making me really sad these last couple of days. And he says, I was sleeping. She says, can we just hang? Dom says, can we just hang later? It's just not nice to wake up to my phone buzzing over and over again. Yeah, I don't blame him for that. And then Mackenzie says, I thought you were up because you texted me at 10. My bad. But when you said, why are you spamming me? It just sounded mean to me, to be honest. I'm out of dabs and bud, though. I told you that yesterday. And she said, how later? How later are you trying to hang? Why did you leave me on red? He says, I don't know how later. And she questions, why did you leave me on red? And she says, well, I'm not trying to wait all damn day with you. I'm not trying to wait all damn day to hang with you for 2 hours, then go to bed. I want to hang early-ish, like before 4 or 30 minutes after 4. Don't you want to see me? Sad face. He said, what do you want to do? She said, I don't know. We can just kick it, or we can do something if you want. It's going to be rainy today. He says, my stomach hurts. She says, did you eat some shit before bed again? He says, yeah. She says, can we just kick it and go with the flow if you want? I don't really care if we do anything. I just want to be with you. He says, yeah, come over. She says, yay. On my way in 10. He says, for show. And she sends a heart eyes. She says, what do you want? I'm home if you want to face. Wait, so what time was that? So that was at 5:20 on 5/29 at 12:43 p.m. And then she says on 5/29, so in the same day, that later that evening, she says, what do you want? And she says, I'm home if you want to FaceTime, babe. And then she says, LOL, good night, babe. And then on 5:30 and 9:40 a.m., she says, bruh, Columbus wildin' right now. And Dom says, how? She says, I'll send you a video. They are protesting and breaking shit. She sends a video. And then he says, wild. She says, right? Like, I don't know why they're still going. That one dude was arrested. He says, I don't know, for real. She says, did you fall asleep before you even got home last night? I tried to FaceTime you. And he says, yeah. And she says, aw, so cute, LMAO. He says, LOL. And she says, I'm watching Jeffrey Epstein documentary. He's effing disgusting. You should see the shit that he did. Dom says, that's just probably what the Clintons did and said he did. That's hilarious. She says, it's about the victims. There's like 40 girls under 18. Dom says, that was deaf in with whatever Epstein was doing. And then Mackenzie says, that's probably Donald Trump is cool with him too. They lived right by each other in Florida. Dom says, yeah, they effed up. Mackenzie says, you got to watch the documentary. He made little ass girls massage him. I'm glad he's dead. LOL. Not them being obsessed with Jeffrey Epstein case. Doesn't her dad sell rugs? Yes, they do. Also want to know how Dom went from having this to having Mackenzie live with him. She just moved in and moved her shit in. She didn't even really move in. She just brought all her stuff over and called it her home. And then Dom says, it's lonely at the top. meaning to the Jeffrey Epstein comment. Dom says it's lonely at the top. Mackenzie says, true. What are you doing right now? He says, just got up and organizing shit. He says, did any of our shit ship yet? She says, I cleaned a little too. None shipped yet, but they should be shipping soon. Both processing. And he says, for sure, let me know. He says, do you want to order some clothes? She says, yeah, that sounds fun. He says, you look for stuff for me too. Wait. That's interesting. He's like, I'll buy you clothes, but look for stuff for me too. So he was definitely just using her too. And she says, okay, I'm going to find you some dope stuff. And he says, bet. She says, you want more shirts, right? Because they all not big enough. And he says, I'll get more shirts. I need some new shorts and some shirts and maybe a jacket. And she says, okay, should I go on PacSun? He says, and some undies and some dope trunks. And she says, ooh, yay, I'm excited to pick some. Do you like Playboy? He says, not really. He says, if it's super dope, I'll wear it. And she says, that's what I thought. I found really dope ones. He says, let me know. She sends pictures of boxers and stuff. She says, those two pretty dope. You would look good. She sends more pictures. He says, I don't like black and red trunks. I like the top pair though. He says, or beige would be dope on trunks. She says, I've seen purple ones. Do you like the Playboy one though? He says, I do like the Playboy one. She says, I'm gonna look for tan. What size? Also, there's Adidas ones too. They cute AF. He says, trunks probably small. She says, they have like 30 colors. He says, make sure the length is long enough. She says, okay, I think I know. Okay, I think I know what you mean. Are you busy today? She says, there's swim trunks and board shorts. He says, not really. We can probably chill. And she says, bet. She says, there's no tan ones, babe. I'm trying to show you an outfit. He says, sorry, I was watching a video. She says, it's okay, LOL. Can you FaceTime? She says, babe, can I come over now? He says, I don't know if I'm trying to chill yet. She says, okay, babe. Okay. Oh, okay, babe. That's cool. She says, just hit me up soon. I'm about to take my hair out of braids right now and do my makeup. He says, don't touch my shoe boxes. She says, question mark, question mark. He says, the shoe boxes in my room. He says, don't touch them. She says, why are you telling me that? She says, I never touched them, LMAO. And Dom says, because they were moved. And Mackenzie says, oh, when I cleaned your room, I just picked up the stack and put it by your TV. I thought that's where they all went. My bad. She says, I won't next time. He says, don't move my boxes or my backwoods. Wait, so she's going over there and cleaning for him like we know. And he's over there using her to buy him clothes, but he doesn't want to hang out with her. That's just this. They are just using each other. He says, don't move my boxes or my backwoods. She says, you told me to clean your room when you went to the bathroom, Dom. Wow. He's telling her to clean his room. She says, like, next time I clean, just tell me what I can and can't move. He says, I just told you to put the shit on the bed. Don't try and organize my shit. She said, okay, I just won't clean your room for you anymore. I don't know why you're coming at me. He says, okay, I'll just keep my phone on D&D for now too. Wait, what? Is he like threatening her and like, wait, this is disgusting. I don't like that. She says, oh, I'm not going to clean your room. And he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to put you on D&D because he knows it pisses her off. Like, that's so manipulative and effed up. I don't care what anyone says. That's so manipulative. And like, he's basically like, if you don't do what I want, then I'm going to like piss you off. Bipolar as hell, says Tay Driver. She's going through stuff and pretending it's in his room. No, I just think that's really shitty. Like, I don't like that. And he says, now you're just going on D&D too. And she says, why are you being so mean? She says, like, the only reason you said that D&D shit was to make me upset. That's what I just said. And then she says, I put your backwoods in that black bag and stacked up shoes where they usually are. You can't just start being mean to me. I said, sorry, I didn't mean to F anything up. He says, I just told you not to touch my shoe boxes or backwoods. And you're like, okay, well, then I won't clean your room anymore. So I was like, okay, I'll keep my phone on D&D then. He says, so you can't spam me. She says, I wasn't going to spam you. She says, I'm still going to clean your room, but it sounds ungrateful AF when you start being mean to me for moving shoe boxes. How am I supposed to know you didn't want me to move the shoe boxes or backwoods? Like, you're really upsetting me. And he says, I'm just letting you know you're the one who made it a problem. And she says, WTF? I didn't even say anything. You started being rude about moving the boxes first. I'm not trying to fight with you over this. He says, no, I just told you not to. Okay, you guys, he just picked that fight. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. He just picked that fight. I don't like any of these people. They all treat people badly. He literally is picking a fight with her here. He says, no, I just told you not to. And she loved something. And then she says, it came across rude to me because you just said it out of nowhere. She sends a screenshot. He says, well, I was just looking for shit and my boxes was moved. She says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for that to happen. I was just trying to clean your room. Bruh, my skin is low-key peeling in the most annoying spot. And he says, gay. She says, it's right between my boobs. Like, and then she said, what are you doing now? Answer FaceTime. She emphasizes it. Do you want to hang now? He says, I have to go do this paperwork now. She says, FaceTime me. 4 seconds. And after you do that, can you scoop? Dom says, maybe. And then she says, but hit me up when you're done. Don't forget, she says. What are you doing? And he says, on the way to my mom's office. She says, okay, let me know when you're done with that, babe. Babe, answer. Want me to get you a shirt right now? And he says, show me. And she says, I don't have pick or purple swim trunks. I already left PacSun too. He said, tough. She said, I'm going into Tilly soon. They have swim trunks and cool shirts. You got to answer me quick though. I left, LOL. Text me when you're on the way home. I'm still trying to get scooped. And then she says, I'm home. She says, babe. She emphasizes it. And he says, okay, I'll scoop you. She says, right now? He says, no, I went and mailed my license application. I went and got food. She says, you think you will scoop before 5? And he says, yeah, I probably could. Let me come in a sec. What you want to do? She says, we'll figure it out when I'm with you. I'm down for anything, babe. He says, okay, can I go show Joey and AJ this new cart? She says, yeah, can I come with? I FaceTime you. He says, what? She says, can I come with you? Like, scoop me before. And he said, I'm already on the way to Kyle's. She says, bro, why? You said you would scoop me before 5. He says, because I got to stop there real quick. She says, why wouldn't you just bring me? That honestly really makes me annoyed. You could have just got me first. Now I have to wait longer. And I'm ready too. And he says, it's not like we have anything to do. She says, what does that have to do with anything? I'm so annoyed right now. Bruh, like, you could have brought me. It's already 5. She dislikes it. And she says, call me. This is the type of shit that makes me really stressed out. And then she says, damn, bro, like, why you make me think you're on the way and why ask me if you're just going to go without me anyway? Like, this is the most frustrating thing. I got off my game when you said I could probably come in a sec. That means you're going to be on the way in less than 5 minutes. And then he says, it's only been 20 minutes. She says, what the F do you even mean? You told me you can come before 5. OMFG, I'm about to flip out. Don't tell me you're coming soon when you're just going to go to Kyle's without me. I literally got ready. He says, don't flip out on me or you're not coming over. The F out of here. I had to be there really quick. He has to leave. So F off. And she says, thanks, Dom. You could have just told me that when you asked me before. Usually when you go to Kyle's, you're there for a long ass time. Do you think it's warm enough for shorts? When are you leaving? I'm ready. Can you please just text me back? Why are you not answering, Dom? Please stop. And then he says, I was talking to Kyle about some serious shit. I'll tell you when I see you. And she says, are you coming now? And he says, in a sec. She says, okay, please come fast. My anxiety is really bad right now. Did you leave yet? I'm ready. It's been 10 minutes. Can you please come now? You said you were coming at 5. It's almost been a whole hour and you're on D&D for some reason. Babe, FaceTime. Come back soon. He says, I'll leave in 10 to 20 minutes. She says, yay. Babe, FaceTime. Babe. Okay, so she says, babe, FaceTime. This was at 2 a.m. So they went and hung out. And then she says, FaceTime when she's home at 2 a.m. Okay, that's on 5:31. We're stopping there for the night. I know. 5 minutes to spill this dynamic. I know. We only did 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours tonight. Tomorrow, I was thinking of going a little bit longer on Mackenzie since earlier I covered the Unknown Number documentary. So tomorrow we should go a little later with the Mackenzie text. Ruh-roh, not the anxiety again. Is Kyle allowed to touch the shoe boxes? So we're on, Abuelita's like, write down what page. Abuelita knows me too. She's like, you're going to forget. We almost went through 1,000 pages today. We're on page 6,573. And the date is, we're stopping on May. So we're like halfway through 2020. Wow. I know. Okay, so we're going to stop there. We will continue tomorrow with the Mackenzie text and all weekend. I will be doing one of these every night. So don't you fret. We will be night. Yep. We're doing it. We're getting to it. We're going to get through all of these. I can't wait. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Please make sure you guys do all your usual things, hit the like button, make sure your notifications are on. Oh my God, 30K. Yeah. We have a long way to go. You weren't live yesterday though. No, I wasn't, but I will be live the rest of the weekend. So tomorrow night I'll be live. Saturday, I usually go live a few times. And then Sunday I will be live again this weekend. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. I bet you Maddie can touch the boxes. Life has been real tough this year. These text lives dropped in my lap and somehow made stuff less horrible. Thank you, Milliverse. Aw, Uploader, we're happy to have you here. Well, why am I live right now? Hit the showers, Emily says. I haven't showered in 4 days. I gotta go shower now, okay? Okay, good night. Love you guys. Please hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you turn on your notifications. I will have tomorrow's live posted here shortly. So you guys can go in there, chat, and say hi and hit the like button per usual. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.